Even now, 5 years later, I can still feel it, that moment when our eyes met across the hotel conference hall. I was standing at the podium as the featured speaker, and there they were, tucked away in the back corner of the audience. My ex-husband's face went absolutely white. And my friend, well, my former friend, she turned her head so fast I thought she might hurt herself. 5 years before that day, a single text message to my phone had completely changed my life. It was from the bank. Loan payment 90 days overdue. Credit score reduction pending. At first, I thought it was spam. There was no way we were behind on any loans. But when I opened the banking app, my hands started shaking. 7 loans in my name. 3 co-signed guarantees. Total amount, over $400,000. Let me tell you how this happened, and how I got from there to here. Looking back, we really were happy. At least, I thought we were. I met Richard when I was 26. My college friend Crystal set us up at an alumni gathering. Crystal and I went way back. We'd been roommates all 4 years at Ohio State, and even after graduation, we made sure to meet up at least once a week. "Maggie, I know this great guy," she said. "Works with one of our client companies. He's solid, reliable. You'd like him." Crystal worked at a brokerage firm doing investment consulting, and she was already making good money. I was just a regular employee at an accounting firm. That's how I met Richard. First impression? He was ordinary. Average height, average looks, not particularly smooth with words, but he seemed genuinely decent. He worked in sales at a mid-sized company, making about what I made. "I don't have big dreams," he told me on our first date. "I just want to build a family and live a normal life." I liked that. I wanted the same thing, nothing fancy, just 2 people building something together, saving little by little. We dated for 6 months and got married. I was 27. Crystal was our officiant. "Maggie, I'm so happy for you," she said at the wedding. "Richard's a good man. I hope I find someone like that." Crystal was still single then. Stayed that way for a while after, too. Our newlywed life was good. We started out in a small rental in a decent suburb outside Columbus, and with both of us working, we could save about $1,500 a month. Our goal was to save up $300,000 in 5 years for a small house. "Honey, when should we think about having kids?" Richard asked during our first anniversary. "Let's wait until we've saved at least $200,000, I said. "Once we have a baby, I won't be able to work as much." "Okay, we'll take our time." We lived like that for 2 more years. We were so careful with money, eating out twice a month max, buying clothes only on sale, 1 domestic vacation a year. When I met up with Crystal, I'd sometimes feel a twinge of envy. "Maggie, I just bought a Chanel bag," she'd say. "Got a nice bonus. Lucky you. I wonder when I'll ever buy something like that." And soon enough. "Hey, I heard Richard's thinking about starting a business." "A business? First I'm hearing of it." Around our 3rd anniversary, Richard brought up the business idea. "Honey, I want to quit my job." "Why so suddenly?" "There's no future in corporate. Promotions are blocked. I think I'd be better off starting something small." "What kind of business?" "Importing clothing. Crystal knows a good source. We can bring stuff in cheap from China, sell it online. The margins are solid." Crystal again. I didn't know it then, but she was always in Richard's ear, suggesting this and that. "But we'd need startup capital. We'd have to use our savings." "No, we can take out a loan. But my credit limit isn't great. And if we use your name, the interest rate's lower and the limit's higher." "My name?" "Yeah, we're married. So what's the difference? When it works out, it's all ours anyway." I hesitated at first, but Richard kept pushing, and Crystal backed him up. "Maggie, online retail is huge right now. Richard's product line looks promising. I'll help you guys out. I know investments, remember?" In the end, I took out $30,000 in my name. That was the beginning. The business seemed to go well at first, or at least it looked that way. "Honey, we cleared $20,000 in sales this month." "Really? That's amazing, right?" Crystal showed me some SNS marketing tricks. She's been really helpful. 4 years into our marriage, I got pregnant. It wasn't planned, but I was happy. Richard seemed happy too. Congratulations, honey. We're having a baby. Yeah, but when I'm on maternity leave, our income will drop. Will we be okay? Don't worry. The business is doing well. Plus, Crystal's been showing me some investment strategies. We can put some extra money to work. Investments? Like what? Stocks and things. Crystal's a professional. She knows what she's doing. That's when it started. Richard talking about Crystal constantly, multiple times a day. Crystal says this. According to Crystal. That kind of thing. 6 months into my pregnancy, I met Crystal at a coffee shop. Maggie, look at you. You're showing. Yeah. Thanks for helping Richard out so much, by the way. Oh, it's nothing. Just sharing what I know. Richard works so hard. That day, Crystal was carrying a Louis Vuitton bag. Brand new. Had to be at least $2,000. Wow. That's gorgeous. Must have cost a fortune. Yeah. Got a big bonus this quarter. Investment performance was good. Lucky you. Once I'm back at work, I need to start hustling. Maggie, you should really get into investing. Just drawing a salary, you'll never save enough. I've been doing Bitcoin lately. The returns are insane. Bitcoin? Isn't that risky? Not if you know what you're doing. I've studied it extensively. Richard's interested too, you know. Something felt off in that moment. Why was she talking about Richard? But I let it slide. We were close friends, of course. She'd mentioned my husband. 3 days before my due date, Richard dropped a bomb. Honey, I'm sorry, but I have to go on a business trip. What? Now? I'm about to give birth. I know. I'm sorry. It's a crucial client. If I don't go, we'll lose the contract. I'll be back in 2 days. But still, this is too much. I'm really sorry. I asked Crystal if she could stay with you when you go to the hospital. And just like that, he left. Said he was going to the airport, meeting a client in China. 2 days later, my contractions started. I called Crystal. Crystal, I'm in labor. I need to get to the hospital. I'm on my way. She got me a cab to the hospital. The contractions got worse, but I couldn't reach Richard. He said international roaming wasn't working. Maggie, hang in there. I'll keep trying, Richard. After 12 hours, I had a son. Richard came back the next day. I'm sorry, honey. The flight times didn't work out. Okay. I was hurt, but I tried to understand. He was out making money after all. Then 3 months later, I found out by accident. I was organizing photos from the baby's 100-day celebration when I came across Richard's credit card statement. On the date before I gave birth, there was a charge for a hotel in Key West, Florida. My heart dropped. Honey, what's this? What? A hotel in Key West. I thought you went to China. Oh, that? The meeting got moved to domestic. Met the client in Florida instead. Alone? Yeah. Alone. Why? Why? It felt like a lie, but I had no proof. I just kept my suspicions to myself. My maternity leave ended, and I went back to work. 6 years into our marriage, my mother-in-law watched the baby. I was grateful, but that's when her interference started. Maggie, buy better diapers for the baby. He's getting a rash. Oh, yes. I'm sorry. And switch to imported formula. What is this? Generic? Yes. I'll change it. She criticized everything, but we paid for all of it. 7 years in, Richard brought up another loan. Honey, I need to expand the business. Need warehouse space. Need to hire people. How much? About $50,000. Just one more loan in your name. Again? We already have $30,000 out. We've almost paid that off. This time I'll make real money and pay it back fast. I hesitated, but eventually agreed. Another $50,000 in my name. Now we were at $80,000 in debt. But here's the weird part. The business seemed to be growing, but our life wasn't getting better. Richard actually started pinching pennies more. Honey, cut back on the coffee. You're spending $100 a month. How is that a lot? Every little bit counts. We still have debt. What about you? How much do you spend on drinks? That's business expenses. Can't be helped. We started fighting more. 8 years in, Crystal got married. Her husband was some corporate executive. Maggie, I'm getting married next month. Really? Congratulations. Kind of sudden, though? Yeah. Met him through an introduction. Decided after 3 months. He's got everything I want. The wedding was lavish. Hotel venue. Over 200 guests. When I handed over the gift envelope, Richard had put in $300. Honey, isn't $300 a bit much? It's Crystal. She's helped us a lot. Still, it's fine. We owe her at least this much. But something was odd. Richard seemed to know way too much about Crystal's husband. Richard, what's Crystal's husband like? He's a good guy. Met him a few times. When? Crystal introduced us. Got some investment advice from him a couple times. Crystal again. 9 years in, Richard came asking for more money. Honey, there's a big opportunity, but I need more capital. How much? 100,000. What? How do we get 100,000? Take out more loans in your name, and we can also do a loan against your 401. Are you insane? My retirement savings? Don't worry. This deal goes through, we'll clear 200,000 profit, pay off all our debt, and still have enough for a house. Are you sure? Yeah. Crystal says this one's a sure thing. The returns are incredible. Crystal again. I was really angry this time. What does Crystal have to do with our business? Why doesn't she mind her own? Hey, what are you talking about? Crystal's helping us. Helping? She's just looking out for herself. You're being ungrateful. Without Crystal, we never would have started this business. We fought again, and I lost. I took out a loan against my 401 for 50,000 and another 50,000 in my name. We can be fined in 401. We can be fined in 400 and 401. We can be 400 and 401. Total debt, $180,000. That's when Richard started changing. He came home late more often, always kept his phone face down. When calls came in, he'd take them in the bathroom. Honey, who's calling? Client. This late at night? China's in a different time zone. I wanted to believe him. I didn't want to be suspicious. But deep down, the anxiety kept growing. 10 years in, Richard wanted another loan. Honey, I want to set up a factory. A factory? Out of nowhere? If we manufacture ourselves, the margins are way better. Crystal connected me with an investor too. Crystal again? Why do you keep acting like this? Crystal's trying to help us. I don't like her. She's around too much. You're being paranoid. Friends help each other. That's normal, isn't it? In the end, I borrowed another 20,000 in my name. Total, 200,000. Around that time, I saw something I shouldn't have. I happened to be near a coffee shop downtown and spotted Richard through the window. He was with Crystal. They were looking at some documents together, talking seriously. But something was off. For a business meeting, they seemed too comfortable. Crystal kept touching Richard's arm, laughing. Richard was relaxed, smiling back. My heart sank, but I couldn't go in, because I thought Richard was supposed to be in China that day. 11 years into our marriage, Richard's control got worse. Honey, let's start tracking our expenses. We need to manage our spending better. Why all of a sudden? We have debt. The kids got school expenses. We need to cut back. That's when the nightmare really began. He monitored every dollar I spent. Honey, what did you buy at the convenience store? $8? Snacks and a drink. Why buy snacks? We have food at home. Daniel wanted them. You're spoiling him. You can't just buy him everything he wants. It's $8 worth of snacks. Small amounts add up. That's $240 a month. He even controlled money I sent to my parents. Honey, you sent your mom $300? It's her birthday. We're struggling ourselves. Can we really afford to help your family? But you help your parents. That's an obligation. Your side is optional. I was furious, but I held it in. We had debt, and maybe he had a point. But here's the thing. Richard didn't monitor his own spending. He'd drop $500 a month on drinks and dinners, but begrudge me $30 for coffee. One day, I got a call from Daniel's school. Mrs. Sullivan, Daniel hasn't been going to his after-school program. What? Why not? The other kids go, and Daniel seems upset about being the only one who doesn't. Maybe we should talk? I brought it up with Richard. Honey, I think Daniel needs to join the after-school program. Programs cost money. He's learning fine at school, but all the other kids go. Other families are other families. We can't afford extras. Then how can you afford to set up a factory while we can't pay for a program? One's an investment, one's consumption. Don't you get the difference? 12 years in, my mother-in-law called. Maggie, Richard says work's been hard. Be better to him at home. What did I do wrong? You need to take care of your husband properly. Cook good meals, keep the house clean. I work too. So you make a little money? And now you talk back to your husband? You've forgotten your place. I hung up and cried. It was so unfair. I worked 9-hour days too, then came home to cook, clean, and take care of Daniel. Richard just complained about work and lay on the couch. Around that time, I needed to use Richard's laptop for Daniel's homework. Richard was away on a business trip. When I opened it, the Messenger app auto-logged in. I know I shouldn't have looked, but curiosity won. I saw his conversation with Crystal. Tonight, work for you? Our usual hotel? Sure. See you at 7. Can you stay a bit longer tonight? Yeah. Wife's at her parents'. My hands were shaking. I scrolled up. Richard, this investment is going to be huge. If you don't buy Bitcoin now, you'll regret it. Yeah? How much will it go up? At least triple. I already put in 5,000. Should I do it too? But I don't have the money. Just take out a loan in your wife's name. You can pay it back later anyway. I kept scrolling. I saw Maggie today. I think she's getting suspicious. Nah, she doesn't know anything. Still, we should be careful. She's been asking questions. Don't worry. I'll handle it. I scrolled back 2 years. The messages went back that far. I couldn't breathe. The whole world was spinning. For 2 years. He'd lied to me for 2 years. With my best friend. But worse than that, the loans I'd taken out in my name had all gone into Bitcoin investments. The business expansion, the factory, all lies. I grabbed my phone and took pictures. Every conversation. My hands were shaking so bad I had to retake them several times. Then I opened the banking app. 7 loans in my name. 3 co-signed guarantees. Total, $420,000. I felt like I was going to pass out. I didn't sleep that night. When Richard came home in the morning, I pretended everything was normal. You're back? Yeah. I'm exhausted. Need to rest. Sure. Rest. I have to get to work. At work, I couldn't function. My mind was completely blank. Maggie, are you okay? You don't look well. Oh, I'm fine. During lunch, I called a lawyer's office that offered free consultations. Hello, I'd like to schedule a consultation. What kind of case? Divorce and fraud. That evening, I met with the attorney. A woman in her 40s who sighed after hearing my whole story. Your husband took out loans in your name under false pretenses and used them for personal investments. That could constitute fraud. Really? Yes. Especially since you have evidence showing he lied about the purpose. Those messenger conversations are crucial. What should I do? First, prevent further financial damage. Monitor his account activity. Make sure no more loans go out in your name. How? Go to the bank and freeze any new loans under your name. And if you file criminal charges against your husband, the police will investigate his assets. That'll automatically freeze his accounts. Criminal charges? Yes. And your friend, too. She was complicit. After meeting the lawyer, I made my decision. I couldn't just keep taking this. That night, I pulled all our bank transaction records. I traced where every dollar in my name had gone. Bitcoin exchange deposits, $250,000. Transfers to Crystal's account, $60,000. Transfers to unknown accounts, $90,000. Total outflow in my name, $400,000. But the current Bitcoin value was only about $60,000. a loss of over $340,000. The next day, I went to my parents' house and told my father, "Dad, I'm getting a divorce. I'm getting a divorce." He looked shocked. "What are you talking about? Out of nowhere?" Richard took out $400,000 in loans in my name and invested it in Bitcoin. And he's been having an affair with Crystal. What? My mother started crying. My father was furious. "I'm going to kill that son of a—" "Dad, calm down. I already talked to a lawyer. I'm filing charges. Criminal charges." "Yes, for fraud. I have all the evidence." My father took my hand. "Maggie, don't worry about the lawyer's fees. I'll cover them." "Thanks, Dad." I spent that night at my parents' house. Texted Richard the First was staying at a friend's. 2 days later, I officially retained the attorney. My father lent me $20,000 for the fees. I'd pay him back from the settlement later. "Maggie, first gather all your evidence, then tomorrow go to the police station and file the complaint." "Okay. And don't tip off your husband. He might try to move assets." "Got it." When I got home, Richard was on the couch watching TV. "You're back?" "Yeah." "Dinner?" "Already ate." "You?" "Me too." I acted normal. Showered. Put Daniel to bed. Got into bed myself. Lying next to Richard made me feel sick. How did I sleep next to this man for 2 years? The next morning, I took a half day off work and went to the police station. "I'd like to file a fraud complaint." "Who's the defendant?" "My husband and my friend." Writing the statement, I started crying. My hands were shaking so much my handwriting was barely legible. The officer reviewed my evidence and nodded. "This should be sufficient. We'll file it. Thank you. Just so you know, once the complaint is filed, the defendants will be notified to appear. Be prepared." Okay. That afternoon, Richard called. "Honey, where are you?" "At work." "Why?" "The police just called. They want me to come in for questioning." "What's this about?" "I don't know. Did you file a complaint?" "Yes." "Are you insane? You're suing your own husband? You committed fraud first." "This is a joke, right? Withdraw it. Now." "No. It's already filed." "You crazy?" I hung up. Then Crystal called. "Maggie, what the hell are you doing? You got the notice too? What did we do wrong that you're pressing charges?" "What did you do wrong? You slept with my husband and helped him steal $400,000 from me? That's a misunderstanding. We're just business partners. Business partners meet at hotels? I have all the messages." "Maggie, let's talk. Let's meet." "No. Talk through my lawyer." I hung up. That evening when I got home, Richard was waiting. My mother-in-law was there too. "Maggie, what do you think you're doing? Ask your son what he did." "You're suing your own husband? Have you lost your mind? Your son lied to me, cheated on me with my friend, and defrauded me of $400,000. Is that normal? That was for the business." "Business? Bitcoin is business?" My mother-in-law looked at Richard. "Richard, is this true?" "Mom, it's not what it sounds like. Answer me." Richard hung his head. "I needed business capital, so I invested some. It just had temporary losses." "Temporary? 2 years is temporary? 340,000 in losses is temporary?" My mother-in-law turned to me. "Still, you should drop the charges. If he goes to jail, you lose too. I've already lost 400,000. What more is there to lose?" "What about Daniel?" "I'll raise Daniel without your son." "You ungrateful." Richard dropped to his knees. "Honey, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Please, drop the charges." "No." "Please. I was wrong. I'll never do it again. You lied to me for 2 years. You cheated with my best friend. You gambled away $400,000 in my name. How do I forgive that? I'll pay it back, even if it takes my whole life." "Do you even have a whole life left?" "Because I don't." I walked out. Took Daniel with me. From that day on, I lived at my parents' house. The police investigation started. Both Richard and Crystal were questioned. Thanks to the evidence I submitted, the investigation moved quickly. Messenger logs, bank statements, Bitcoin exchange records, everything was clear. 2 weeks later, The detective called. "Ma'am, we've frozen all accounts." "What?" "The suspect's accounts are all frozen. He can't move any more assets. Thank you." "And both suspects will be referred to the prosecutor's office. Indictment is almost certain." Richard texted me. "Honey, please drop the charges. I got suspended at work. If they fire me, what then?" I didn't respond. Crystal texted too. "Maggie, I'm sorry. I was wrong. But my company's investigating me now. Please, let's settle." I didn't respond to her either. My lawyer had advised me, wait until the criminal case is resolved, then file civil damages. Settlement could wait until then. A month later, the prosecutor indicted them. Richard on fraud charges, Crystal on aiding and abetting. Around that time, something big happened at Richard's company. The promotion announcement he'd been working toward for 10 years. Richard had spent a decade chasing that promotion. Never missed a company dinner, worked weekends, kissed up to his bosses, but the announcement came 1 month after the criminal charges were filed. The lawyer told me, "Maggie, your husband's company will have been notified. When we check criminal records, the employer gets notified." "So they know?" "Yes. And his promotion? That's not happening. Criminal defendants get removed from promotion consideration." Part of me felt satisfied. Just like he took my dreams from me, he'd lose his too. But Richard didn't give up. On the day of the announcement, he still went to the company event. That day turned out to be the best day of my life. The promotion ceremony was at a hotel. Executives, clients, promotion candidates. Everyone was there. Richard showed up in his best suit, holding on to hope until the very end. But 30 minutes into the event, the police walked in. The detective had called me ahead of time. "Ma'am, your husband's company is having an event today, right? We're planning to serve him the summons there. Is that okay with you?" "Yes, that's fine." I think the detective understood what I wanted. Understood. We'll go to the venue. I happened to be near that hotel that day too. A friend had asked to meet at a nearby cafe. It was just coincidence. I was having coffee when my phone rang. Unknown number. "Hello? Ma'am? Detective Kim. We just served him." "Okay. Just so you know, it was quite a scene. Thank you." After I hung up, I couldn't help but smile a little. Later, I heard from one of Richard's coworkers what happened. The promotion announcements had just started. The MC was calling names, and Richard sat there nervously. That's when 2 police officers walked in. "Is Richard Sullivan here?" Richard jumped up. That's me? Sir, we have a summons for you on fraud charges. Please come with us." The whole hall went silent. Executives whispering, clients murmuring. Richard's face went white. "Now? Here?" "Yes. Your hearing is in 2 days, so you need to receive these documents now. Can't we do this somewhere else?" "Sorry. Official documents have to be served in person to the defendant." His boss sitting next to him asked, "Sullivan, what's going on?" It's a misunderstanding." "Fraud doesn't sound like a misunderstanding." The officer handed him the papers. Richard's hands were shaking as he took them. Then the doors opened again, and another officer walked in. "Is Crystal Bennett here?" Crystal was there too. Her husband's company was a client. Crystal froze. "Miss Bennett, you have a summons for aiding and abetting fraud." The hall erupted. "What's the relationship between those two? They committed fraud together?" "I heard Sullivan's wife filed the charges." Richard's boss stood up. "Sullivan, step outside with me." "Head down." Richard left. The announcements continued without him. His name was never called. I heard later that Richard was suspended that same day. The company couldn't keep a criminal defendant on staff. Crystal had it worse. Brokerage firms are even stricter. She was immediately put on leave, and the company started its own internal investigation for possible illegal client advisory activities. The trial started 3 months later. Richard's lawyer reached out for a settlement. "Ma'am, the defendant deeply regrets his actions. He's willing to offer $30,000 in settlement and agree to the divorce." I almost laughed. $30,000? When he stole $400,000? Realistically, the defendant doesn't have the means to pay $400,000. Then let the court decide. "Ma'am, if this goes to trial, it'll just drag on. A settlement would be..." "No, We're going to trial. On the first day of trial, I saw Richard for the first time in 3 years. He looked terrible. Hair graying, face gaunt. In front of the judge, Richard spoke. "I'm sorry. I was wrong." The prosecutor asked, "Did you inform the victim of the purpose when taking out loans in her name?" "I said it was for business capital. And in reality, I invested it in Bitcoin." "Did the victim know?" "No." "Then this is clearly fraud, isn't it?" "I'm sorry." Crystal's trial ran concurrently. She looked rough, too. None of the designer bags she used to carry. No makeup, just a plain black suit. The prosecutor asked her, "What was your relationship with the victim?" "College friends." "Close friends?" "Yes." "And you had an inappropriate relationship with this close friend's husband and helped him invest money he'd fraudulently obtained from her?" "I'm sorry." "Did the victim know?" "No." "How much did you profit from the investments?" "About $25,000. I heard someone in the courtroom sigh. The trial went on for 3 months. We ran the divorce proceedings at the same time. In the divorce trial, Richard tried to claim custody. "A child needs his father," the judge asked. "What's your current employment status?" "I'm currently on suspension." "Income?" "Just base salary." "And the plaintiff?" My lawyer responded, "The plaintiff is employed full-time and has a stable home environment." The judge ruled, "Custody goes to the plaintiff. The defendant will pay $500 monthly in child support." Richard objected. "500 is too much. Considering the debt you created, it's quite reasonable." The criminal verdict came down. The judge spoke. Defendant Richard Sullivan obtained $400,000 in fraudulent loans from the victim. Defendant Crystal Bennett aided this fraud. However, considering the defendants show remorse and that imprisonment seems excessive, the court sentences Richard Sullivan to 2 years in prison, suspended for 3 years, and Crystal Bennett to a fine of $10,000. Suspended sentence, not actual jail time. But what mattered was the criminal record. The civil trial followed. I'd sued for $400,000 in damages. The judge ruled, defendant Richard Sullivan shall pay the plaintiff $300,000. $300,000, not the full $400,000, but it was enough. Defendant Crystal Bennett shall pay the plaintiff $50,000. $50,000, her $25,000 in profits, plus $25,000 in damages. After the trial ended, as I left the courthouse, Richard approached me. "Maggie, Mr. Sullivan, I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't undo 5 years of my life. Can you ever forgive me?" "I can forgive, but I can't start over." "Daniel, don't talk about Daniel. You gave up custody, visitation rights. Follow what the court ordered. Once a month." Richard hung his head. I saw Crystal in the distance. She didn't approach, just stood there, head down. I walked over to her. "Crystal, Maggie, we were friends for 10 years. This is how it ends. I'm sorry. I'm sorry too, for trusting you too much. Maggie, we're strangers now. Let's not worry about each other." I turned and walked away. After the trial, I started rebuilding my life. First, I dealt with the debt. The $300,000 from Richard paid off $300,000 of my $400,000 in loans. The remaining $100,000 Richard was responsible for by court order. I paid back the $20,000 I'd borrowed from my dad. I kept working at my job, but I felt restless, doing the same thing every day. I wondered if this was really my life. Then an opportunity came. At work, we had a financial fraud prevention training session. The instructor took interest in my story. "Maggie, have you ever thought about victim counseling?" "What?" "Family financial fraud is so common these days, especially loans taken out in a spouse or family member's name. Someone who's been through it could really help others." That's how it started. At first, just volunteer work. I did free counseling on weekends. My first client was a woman in her 30s. "Ma'am, my husband took out $300,000 in loans in my name." "What did he say it was for?" "His business." "But I don't believe him." "Do you have evidence?" "Yes, I screenshot his messages." I told her about my experience, how I gathered evidence, how I pursued it legally. "You went through this too." Yes, that's why I know you can't just suffer in silence. You have to act fast. Over 6 months, I counseled over 20 people, and I realized something. My experience could help others. I quit my job, got certified as an official financial fraud victim counselor. At first, my parents objected. Maggie, what about job security? You had a stable position.
Dad, I want to do this. I don't want others to suffer like I did.
Still, it's okay. Counseling pays too. Plus, I do speaking engagements. I can make a living. Daniel was growing up too. Started middle school. Mom, I think I'm good at math. Really? How do you know? My teacher wants me to enter the math competition. Wow, that's amazing. Daniel took after me. Calm, meticulous, good with numbers. Mom, I want to be an accountant someday. Yeah? Why? I see what you do, helping people who get hurt by money problems. I want to help protect people's money. My heart swelled. Richard still saw Daniel through court-ordered visitation. Once a month, Saturday afternoons, 2 hours. Did you see your dad? Yeah. How was it? Okay. He kept apologizing. It was uncomfortable. Mom, do I have to keep seeing him? I don't want to. Daniel, he's still your father. He made mistakes, but he did bad things to you. He's still your dad. I'm on your side, Mom. I hugged Daniel tight. 2 years passed. My work gained traction. Income stabilized. Then, one day, a major financial institution called, Miss Sullivan, we're launching a major financial fraud prevention campaign. Would you speak at our events? Really? Yes. Your story could inspire a lot of people. That's how it started. I appeared in TV commercials, gave interviews, traveled the country giving talks. At first, I was embarrassed. It felt like exposing all my shame to the world. But I reframed it. If my experience could save someone's life, there was nothing to be ashamed of. Daniel started high school. Shut up now. A head taller than me. Mom, I won first place in the math competition. Really? Wow. And I got a full scholarship. That's incredible, Daniel. You work so hard for my tutoring fees. I have to work hard too. Daniel, I'm not struggling. You make me happy. Daniel took my hand. Mom, I'm glad I'm like you. You're strong. I felt tears coming. Then one day, I had another speaking engagement at a hotel. This time, youth financial education. I brought Daniel along. I'd asked him to participate. Daniel, would you come on stage with me? Talk from a victim family member's perspective? Me? I'll be nervous. It's okay. I'll be right there. Before the talk started, during rehearsal, Daniel said, Mom, Dad's here. What? I looked toward the back seats. Richard was sitting there, alone. Why's he here? I don't know. Curious, I guess. The session started. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm financial fraud victim counselor Margaret Sullivan. Today, I've brought my son with me. Daniel came on stage. Hi, I'm Daniel Sullivan. I'm a high school freshman. The audience applauded. Daniel, you know what your dad did to me, right? Yes, I know everything. How did you feel when you first found out? I was angry, thinking about how hard it must have been for you. And now? I'm okay now. Because what happened led you to this work. You're helping so many people. I'm proud of you. In the back, I saw Richard's head drop. What do you want to be, Daniel? An accountant. I want to help people so they don't suffer financially like you did, Mom. Applause filled the room. After the session, Richard approached us. Daniel, Dad, the talk was great. You've really grown up. Yeah. I'm so sorry. To you and to your mom. Daniel thought for a moment, then said, Dad, I can forgive you, but I can't respect you. Richard froze. Daniel, you threw away what mattered most. Mom, me. You're the one who left us first. I'm going to live like Mom. She never throws away what's precious. Tears ran down Richard's face. You're right. I was wrong. Dad, let's stop meeting. You live your life. I'm going to be fine with Mom. Daniel came over to me. Mom, let's go. I looked at Richard one more time. Mr. Sullivan, be happy. Mr. Sullivan, be happy. You too. We left. Walking to the parking lot, Daniel said, Mom, I decided something today. What? I'm never going to disappoint you. And when I get married someday, I'm going to treasure my wife the way you should have been treasured. End quote. And wife letter from supporter. End quote. End quote. We're quote. End quote 7 deals and dales. End quote 7 deals and dales. End quote 7 deals and dales. Tears came. Daniel, thank you. It's just the right thing to do. That night, after Daniel was asleep, I opened the window. The night air was cool. I remembered 5 years ago, getting that bank text. It felt like the world was ending. But here I am now. Not broken, stronger. What happened to Richard? He's probably running his chicken franchise, working 12-hour days, paying off debt, living with regret. And Crystal? Probably at some small company in a small town. Her glamorous life long gone, living quietly. Their lives are theirs. I don't care anymore. What matters is my life and Daniel's. And we're doing just fine. Really. A year later, I published a book. The title, The Life I Saved. The book launch brought a big crowd. People I'd counseled, people who'd attended my talks, and my family. Daniel gave a speech from the stage. My mom is a hero. She could have given up, but she got back up. Now she's lifting others up too. I'm proud of her. Applause poured out. The book became a bestseller. Many people read it. Many people said it gave them courage. One day, I got an email from a reader. Miss Sullivan, my husband lied to me too. Took out $200,000 in my name for gambling. I read your book and found the courage to press charges. I'm in trial now. Without you, I'd still be a victim. Thank you. Every time I get messages like that, I think, my pain wasn't for nothing. 2 years later, Daniel got into college. Ohio State Business School. Mom, I got in. Really? Congratulations. Full scholarship too. You won't have to pay anything. Daniel, you're the best. On orientation day, Daniel gave me a letter. Dear Mom, I'm starting college now. I remember when you were struggling, but you never gave up. You always smiled at me. You always believed in me. I want to be strong like you, and I want to help others like you do. I love you, Mom. Daniel, I cried reading it. That evening, just Daniel and I went to a nice restaurant. Mom, isn't this place expensive? It's okay. Today's special. Mom, can I ask you something? Sure. Do you regret marrying Dad? I thought for a moment. No, I don't regret it. Why not? Because I got you, and it made me who I am today. Without that pain, I wouldn't be here now. You're so strong, Mom. No, I'm not. I'm weak too. Sometimes I feel like breaking, but seeing you helps me stand back up. Mom, I love you. I love you too, Daniel. 3 years later, Daniel was a college junior, and he had a girlfriend. Mom, there's someone I want you to meet. Who? My girlfriend. She was a sweet, smart, pre-law student. It's an honor to meet you, Mrs. Sullivan. Daniel talks about you all the time. Really? What does he say? That you're the strongest, most amazing person in the world. Daniel smiled. Mom, I'm going to marry her someday. Oh yeah? That's nice. I'm going to live like you taught me. Value family. Never betray them. Tears filled my eyes. That night alone, I reflected. 13 years ago, when Richard and Crystal betrayed me, I thought it was the end. But looking back, it wasn't an ending. It was a beginning. The beginning of a new life. Now I'm happy. Daniel grew up well. My work is meaningful. My life is full. Richard and Crystal, I think of them sometimes. But it doesn't hurt anymore. They're living their lives, and I'm living mine. And my life is really good. Not just okay, really good. 5 years ago, The day I got that bank text, I fell apart, but I got back up, and now here I stand. Stronger, steadier, happier. That's my revenge. Living well. That's the best answer I can give them. 5 years later, here I am. I still travel, giving talks, doing counseling, helping people. Daniel graduated college and is studying for his CPA exam. Yesterday, Daniel asked me, "Mom, are you happy?" Yes, really happy. Me too, because of you. No, because of you. Because of both of us, I guess. I laughed. That's right. Because of both of us. Because I didn't give up. Because Daniel believed in me. Because we stood together. Now I know. Life doesn't end with one betrayal. You can fall and get back up. And the most important thing is protecting yourself. 5 years ago, I protected my life. And now, I'm still protecting it. I always will, until the end. Listen, if you're in a hard place right now, remember this. This too shall pass. And you're stronger than you think, just like me. Now here on the porch, I've told you my story neighbor to neighbor. One person who's been through it to maybe someone going through it now. If you've ever had someone you trusted turn your whole world upside down, I'd sure like to hear about it in the comments. You're not alone in this. I read every single one.